However, one non-type steamer, 1522 was pulled in 1951 and stayed in storage for 8 years. She had been selected for preservation by the Frisco themselves, in fact. In 1959, she was donated to the St. Louis Museum of Transportation, where she would spend the next 30 years standing still. In 1985, a new group would be formed called the St. Louis Steam Train Association, who had the long-term goal of restoring 1522 to operation, and restoring they did. By 1988, work would be completed and 1522 would have her first test run the same year. During her 14-year excursion career, 1522 would be involved in plenty of events, but to save time, I will only explain the more notable ones. 1522 attended the 1990 NRHS convention in St. Louis, Missouri, alongside a lot of other famous legends like NW 1218, UPA 44, and Conbill 819, which arrived late to the event. For this, she pulled a 22-car train over rolling hills motorway. In 1994, 1522 went down to Atlanta, Georgia for that year's NRHS convention. This one was special since both it and NW 611 double-headed from there to Birmingham. However, 1999 would mark the beginning of the end for 1522. She derailed on a Y in the north end of St. Louis. A rail had buckled underneath the engine's drivers on the fireman's side. This caused some damage, but she was quickly fixed with the help of the TVRL. In 2001, 1522 was invited to pull the BNSF Annual Employee Appreciation Special through Texas. Unfortunately, the next year it was announced that 1522 would be retired once again, mostly due to financial reasons. Not only was the insurance cost for the steam locomotives to distinguish with flying crossings village, two rival news companies, each vying to be the first to have their films on the theaters, chartered a train and aircraft, respectively, Engine 460, 1914 and its 79 other siblings ran most of the Northeast corner between New York City and Washington, D.C. After being replaced by the K4 Pacifics, the E6 locomotives were relegated to charter speed, but today the 460 become up to its consist, which was actually pretty short, only being made up by a single baggage car and a P70 coach. The 460 left DC at 12:14 p.m. with the video reel in tow, thus starting its journey. The train quickly shot up to speed only 90 by the time it crossed into Maryland, but the crew run into a minor issue as they tried to pick us some water on the go. While trying to pick up some water through the water scoop within the tender, the engineer let the scoop down too early and it ended up scraping against the reservoir. The crew had to make a quick pit stop in Wilmington, Delaware at 1:38 p.m. While there, they used the line side standby to top off the tender. The issue was rectified within 10 minutes, with 460 leaving Wilmington. The reason why they had to stop here was because steam locomotives were not allowed in the tunnel coming into New York. The baggage car and coach were handed over to electric engines, most likely since the GG release sailing 6 can. Even though the aircraft arrived in New York first, the film brought by number 460 was in theaters hours before the others, thanks to a film processing lab on board the train's baggage car. They had won. It was time for 460 to go home. It had done everything. After the race, number 460 went back to its normal duties until March 1937, when it was loaned to the Long Island Railroad. In January 1939, number 460 was returned to the PR, but was still occasionally used on the Long Island as a short-term loaner. Starting in 42, and all trains between Camden and Bayhead, New Jersey. In 1951, parts for it were taken off other E6 locomotives that were going to be scrapped. The drivers on the engineer side are from PRR 1565. The air tanks on the fireman side was from PRR 690. The reservoir on the engineer side was from PRR 782. 460's tender was
hours of shoveling, and the RGS goes, keep sending more engines, and the DNRGW arrives. Meanwhile, like a butcher, there's a secret RGS 455 taking every available man out to dig out the train near Little Head. The train becomes stuck in the deepening snow in matter of one, and if you haven't figured this out already, this is going to be a recurring theme in this video. DNRG number 458 and RGS 41 depart Rico with the rotary and arrive at the stranded extra. With 5 engines, a rotary, a goose, and a flanger Now the trouble seems to be over, right? Nope! 458 and 41 freaking derail somewhere down the line. The rear rail near sunrise, and the consist starts once again. It finally arrives in Rico about 2:10 p.m. Some of the men on board had been on duty since March 3rd. With the line still not open, 458 in the rotary depart Rico to return to Lizard Head one final time. But 458's tender derails twice. The train gives up on Lizard Head and attempts to return to Rico.
Please, for the love of God, turn that off. Meanwhile, in Colfax, the rescue mission was underway. All the nurses, paramedics, and railroad workers are on the train. AC-12 kept forward on the 4205 will take the train over the River Pass where the incident took place. It is not going to be an easy trip to make, to put it lightly. Equipment would often break. The snowfall is brutal, and they have to go slow as to not set up more avalanches. Now let's get back to our friends Dean, James, and the 222 passengers on board, shall we? Dean. Oh my God, man! It's finally here. After 18 hours of battling snow and altitude sickness, the rescue train was finally there on January 14th. At this point, all that really mattered was getting the passengers out and off the mountain. After the final preparations are made, the icy convoy makes its way down to Truckee. They make good progress at first, and they're able to make it pretty far, but that would soon all be thrown in the trash. Alright, are you happy now? We're getting pulled back to Truckee. Yeah, but I gotta ask, how did they get up here without suffering from hypothermia and dying?
Danny, I've saved yours for last. Besides your normal switching up here, I decided that you should be the one to greet our new switcher. He's new to this territory and will need to learn the ins and outs of how we operate things around here. Yes, sir, what's his name? From what I've been told, it's Lord.
Mort? What's an odd name?
Okay, everyone, now for the big news. After a lot of work and persuade, what are you two doing up here?
We're just stopping by to pick up some general goods.
Leviathan was right to be suspicious of the two Southerners, as they stalled making idle conversation with the big freight engine. Cooper's engineer and fireman had gotten out of his cab and set the switch going out of the industrial stand against him. As he started off, Levi had no idea that he was going straight into their trap.
Hey, Danny, have you seen Levi anywhere?
No, why? I haven't seen him since this morning's announcements.
Well, go and look for him and be fast. And we need to get this train moving. Randall, Mort, we need you to assemble those cars. ASAP, let's go. My Danny, come on, oh, I mean, yes, Todd. Yes, of course, Todd.
Oh no, Levi, what happened? I would say it was this dodgy track work, but I'm sure it wasn't a coincidence that the Southerners were here right when it happened. Typical Southerners, sleazeballs the pair of them. My driver called the wrecking train, but it won't be here for an hour. But that can't happen, the SS Bonfire came early and your train is almost ready to go. Then that means you'll have to take it for me. Me? I'm a switcher, not some big heavy freight locomotive. Danny, it's the only way. Get to Whittier Harbor. I'm sure Todd has an idea or two. I don't know about this. You can do it, Danny. It's just like switching, but you take the cars further. Now go on, Dan. Show Scotia Lines what us Northsiders are made of. Okay. Danny rushed into the docks and quickly explained the situation to Todd. As Levi suggested, Todd did come up with an idea. Danny and Randall would pull from the front while Mort would assist from the back. Todd